All right, boys. So welcome to the Controversial Podcast. So our special host or guest, right? I should say, Justin and then Tyler. Both of our coaches.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and they're from Trade Launch. So yeah, we brought them on. We're at PaintCon right now, so we just thought we'd do a pod.
Nice, bro. Thanks Airbnb. Yeah, it was super fun.
I'm excited to have you guys here.
Yeah.
Do you guys realize?
Yeah, you guys helped us out tremendously in business. So we're very pumped to see you guys for the first time because it's our first time seeing you guys, and then kind of share with everyone, who changed our lives, because you guys changed my life completely.
You guys changed my life as well. I don't know how that feels. How's that feel? Just hearing that.
And my instant reaction is well, you guys fucking did the work. At the end of the day, there's a lot of people that join coaching programs and don't do anything. They just kind of mental masturbate. They want to buy all these things so they can hopefully get a magic pill, but you have to do the work. So there's a reason you guys were very successful, because I know before the pod, you're saying you had a feeling since you were young, you have this fire inside you want to do something different. So when you have the resources and you have that feeling, you'll make it happen. So at the end of the day, it's that's awesome to hear, but it's not like it's a magic thing that people come in and change your life. It's you have to do the work.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's on you guys as much, right? Then now you have to contribute that to your teammates, and you got to change their lives and just continue it on.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll talk for myself, but I feel like I needed, the systems. I think we both come from a good mentor, I would say.
Yeah.
He taught us a lot, but I think, kind of implementing that with what you guys have is it's just fucking fast lined everything. Because for me, if I never even knew about you, because I've been following you for a month before I actually even did anything with you. And if I would have never done that, I don't think I probably would have been 300 this year, 400 grand.
Yeah, I remember when I first started my business, my goal was 500K. And then him and I partnered up for 2 weeks, and then we raised our goal to 1 million. And then we split after the 2 weeks. And then just fast forward a couple months, and you were working with Justin. And then he had the whole system and everything. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, it was interesting too, because I usually don't work with two people from the same area. So I was I remember, because you guys said you were partners at first and then not, so it's kind of strange. But that's cool, you guys can collaborate. That's what I'm interested in, is how you guys even manage your relationship in the same fucking city. We're selling the same shit.
No,
it's literally a relationship.
No, at first, Kevin will tell you, bro, I was super small. I'm still small-minded, I guess, right? Where I was man, we can't do the same thing. We're literally everything's the same. And he brought it up. He was bro, we can't, it just matter.
Should we flip that back up? I don't know if you guys care, but
is that what?
Yeah. That is actually top.
Yeah. So pretty much, I used to be super small-minded. I was bro, we can't have the same business model. We can't do the same thing. And then he ended up just explaining things to me. And then I kind of bro, we can work together and collaborate, and we can still make enough money, hit both of our goals of 1 million. Right now, what it reminded me of when we started the podcast is when I was in Mexico, when you signed, or Amar or whoever signed me on, and he was I was bro, are you sure you can? Yeah, I'm gonna hit $1 million in my first year in business. You're yeah, bro. Just make sure when you come back from Mexico that you're hopping on those calls and all this shit. But I asked him 4 times. I was bro, are you sure I'm gonna hit $1 million with cruiser? And because it was $8 grand. $8 grand to me was expensive. I never spent $8 grand on one single purchase.
100%. I wonder if he said, he's yeah, you would. Interesting.
No, I asked you, because I signed on with the Mar, and then I was man, this fucker just scammed the shit out. No, I'm fucking. I was he just signed me on for sorry, let's cut that out.
I don't care.
No.
Came up at the end.
No. At first, when I signed for $3 grand, because I got the charge. I don't know how much it was, but when I first paid that, I was it's a lot of money.
I mean, that is a lot of money. I mean, it's a brand new business. And you're taking that risk of investing thousands of dollars without knowing what to get, or what you're going to get back. So, I mean, it makes sense, but then a couple months later, it's just the return was insane. Right. And so,
and I think it goes back to what you're saying, take the risk, take initiative, and, again, it'll work for you or won't.
Well, the thing with Ty, I know your story is pretty nuts about a trade launch. That when you first started.
Yeah, it was. Even when I first joined, it was literally what was that, third or fourth guy?
Yeah, third guy.
Or just real?
Yeah.
And it was for me, I remember looking at my bank account and literally seeing $100 and something bucks after it. But I knew this is the thing, right? Is we live in a day and age where we have the most amount of knowledge and resources at expenditure everywhere we go. We have a cell phone, right? You can use anything. So it's everyone has access to the same thing. How are we going to use it? But long story short, I actually remember messaging you.
Yeah. This guy challenged me to 75 hard because he's pulling the content too. And he's running his contracting business part-time you're electrical.
Yeah, so I was doing my electrical apprenticeship. I was still working part-time. Yeah, message you, challenge you to 75 hard.
You guys know 75 hard?
Yeah.
I did it for
We both felt
Like if I beat you in 75 hard, then I get to have a 1 hour call with you. That's what he did. So
Yeah.
fire. I like that.
And at that point, I was like, I got this in the bag. Like I did it for like 156 days straight. So I was like, it's baby chow.
Yeah, I think I forgot a progress pick or something. So this guy got me on the call. But what he didn't know is that he got on a sales call. And then that's all been a trade launch. But he, on the call, was like, look, man, if you're going to do this, you need to quit your job. And he was 4 years out of his 5-year apprenticeship. Like that's a lot of dedication. He had 1 more year to get his tick on that dedication.
Yeah.
This guy quit the next day, quit his job the next day, came in, and then a year later, 2.2 mil.
Yeah, literally.
So-
But that's what I mean is like, and a lot of guys like, well, not a lot of guys, but some guys will ask and be like, yo, how do you do that? And it's like, well, we all have access to the same stuff.
Yeah.
It's how you use it.
Yeah.
Like, how much time do you want to dedicate to this? Right? How badly do you want it? And those are the questions that you have to ask yourself straight up.
Yeah.
I'm curious. So when you decided to quit, your family or what was their reaction?
Yeah, my parents were supportive, right? To be honest, but at that point, I've been in self-development for almost a year and a half. I think my parents definitely saw me like changing. My dad was definitely a little bit iffy. Like he always made good money with what he did, but it was a job, right? Like he never was an entrepreneur. But he was a little bit kind of hesitant. My mom, like bless her soul, she was awesome. Like just supported me, whatever I want to do. And at that point, it was just like every day I was even like telling my parents, I was like, I'm here for something different. Like I'm going to be fucking great.
Yeah.
And so she was just like, yeah, you're going to be great.
Right. And that's the thing. That's why I was saying it's like, it's like, I don't see that I'm like, yes, I changed a life by changing a circumstance of monetary value for business. But the other day, like that's a fire inside of them. I didn't fucking put that in there. I put that in you. It's just like, hey, I learned this thing from working with a $30 million franchise. I tweaked some systems, I trained people, I packaged it in this thing. Do you want to buy it and change your business? And when you change your business, you do change your life. But you need that first initial thing. You need to see the value. A lot of guys that run a business, they don't believe in themselves full enough to actually invest back in themselves.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe childhood trauma or some shit, or like just the identity.
You know what it is because we're indoctrinated from a young age to think that, because like, listen, to have anything in life, you either have to spend time or money, right? And most of us, at least from a young age, are told to like hang on your money, save it, put it in the account, like keep it, like compile it. And people don't realize the true value of time. You know what I mean? So we're not really taught that. So when you're in the beginning of a business and you haven't been through a lot of shit, you don't really realize that like your time actually is a lot more valuable, right? So like, for example, you spend whatever it was, 2-3 years learning everything, and then someone can just buy it for just like 8K, 6K, whatever it is.
It isn't even a lot of money. It's like you book 3 jobs and pay it off. You pay off 3 years and 3 jobs.
Well, you're going to spend 3 years of doing something and trying to learn it by yourself. Or
and I learned those things from a company that took 40 years to learn that I learned that they probably took another 30 years to pay someone else that also took years. So it's like you take centuries or like decades and you can just like get it.
Decades into days.
And that's what we're here to do. We're here to take decades into days. That's why we want to connect with guys that are doing way more than we are, but they see the vision of what we're doing for the industry, and like we get them into trade launch. And that's what we're connecting with Brandon after the talk today. So it's like, yeah. But what's I think what the biggest thing is before entrepreneurship, there's a period, and it's like almost like a cocoon. Like as a kid, my mom, we would get caterpillars. Like we had this land up north. We'd find these monarch butterflies. You know the monarch butterflies? We'd get caterpillars. We'd put them in the house with milkweed, and we'd watch it make the cocoon and then transform to a butterfly. I just fucking loved it. And actually, when she passed, like a week after she passed, I went up to the land. I found a monarch butterfly, brought it back home. It did the same thing. And I was really reflecting on like the cocoon phase for entrepreneurs and just for any young man or woman in self-development is that period going into darkness, introspection, coming out, transform, which could be in business. It could be as an entrepreneur in a company, but you need that period. And that's what money cannot buy. Money can't buy that period. You have to be in that phase of mindset. That's why I keep saying, like, you guys took the plunge. You guys bought the thing. You guys went in your own cocoon.
Interesting. I also think, though, too, like, COVID sucked, first of all, right? But during that time, everyone was forced into a cocoon. You have two options,
Bro, 100%.
right? You can either become a butterfly or you'll die in that cocoon.
Dude, knocking doors in COVID was the hottest shit. Everyone was home. Everyone wanted to buy it. You know?
Yeah, that's true. Everyone was scared to go.
Yeah, but everyone else was like, don't knock on doors, you know, code red.
Wear a mask.
No chance. We'll wear a mask. No, I thought it was a whole freaking psyop, the whole thing. But everyone was home. And so our business just scaled right away. Boom, pumped. Because we just hired a bunch of guys. No one could find work. So it's like a bunch of guys, let's go knock doors. And it's just what you use in certain situations, right? And that's what is Warren Buffett says. Like when the streets are like quiet, like that's when you should go invest. Or like when I forget what he says. Basically, when people are scared, that's when you should go. When everyone's going, that's when you might have to pull back.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's interesting because in COVID, I had a terrible year in 2020 and I was still in car sales. And then I got like just laid off for like a few months and then I went back, but I hated my life just working like 12-hour days.
Yeah.
And then I got lucky because I sold the truck to Aaron, who ended up just becoming my boss. And that's how I got into the painting industry. And then I became an estimator for him. And then I ended up hiring Jose under me 2 years after, which was last year. And like, I feel like in those 3 years, I learned a lot about the painting business. And then he came in, I taught him everything, or not everything, but you learned a lot from Aaron, right? As well. But, you know, I was his direct manager. And then he started killing it immediately. He immediately just became competition. And then it got to a point where we're like, let's just fucking do this ourselves. I think we can do it better. It came to a point where I felt like I wasn't growing as fast as I could grow. And I was happy to be an employee as long as I could grow. And my dreams are like, I can fulfill my dreams within his business.
Yeah.
You know? And then I came to a realization where I'm like, okay, I don't think this can actually happen fast enough. I'm just going to do this myself. And I quit and I was completely broke. And then I thought that it was just perfect timing. I think that God works in crazy ways because it was such perfect timing that all of a sudden I meet you right online and it's door knocking. You don't need any money to start. You can just go start with $0. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And my pregnant girlfriend at the time and I just started door knocking. And then that's how we kind of started getting a few leads. And then we ended up hiring the team.
Well, what you said is important there of like creating a company where people inside of it can achieve their dreams inside. Like that's where it's not a dead end job. And that's our role as an entrepreneur. And some guys aren't meant for that role. Like they think too selfishly. Like your goals need to be on how much can I make my guys? Like it's like you sit down with one of your key guys. This is what I do with my guys at the beginning of the year. How much do you want to make this year? Let's say a number. I want to make 200K. Okay. You'll make 200 grand. Okay, that's a lot of money. You want to make 200 grand? Yep. Okay. So let's break it down. So you're making, let's say 5% commission, 10%, 8%, whatever the commission structure is. You're making this much commission. We need to sell this many jobs to make this much money. And I'm going to also have a bonus structure. If you get close to this, I will compensate the bonus if you get to this level. Let's say whatever it is. Break it down week by week throughout the year. Okay. This is what 200 grand looks like a week. Or do you want to do, are you sure? You want to lower the goal? Can you, and then if they agree, it's like, that's it. Let's run it. And then you have to keep them accountable and you got to coach them and you got to keep you got to be on them because they need that support. It's easy to say yes to those things and you go in the field, you get rejected 5 times. You have a bad sales week. You're just like, I don't know about this. Then you got to be the guy that's like, no. You got this. Let me go out with these 4 more quotes. Let's trade again. But that's going to be like, that's the biggest role of an entrepreneur. And that needs to be your main focus, not the revenue. Because if you can you get all their goals together, the revenue number is that there. Maybe there's a gap of what you want to do and maybe what the goals add up to. And that's where you can hire another person or you step in. But at the end of the day, the revenue number is kind of this false idea of like, I want to do 10 million, I want to do this. It's like, well, what do your guys want to do? What are they down to do? And if their goals are too small, then you got to motivate them or find new people. But if your main focus is, I want to make them 200 grand, 100 grand, okay, this guy's only 50K because he thinks small. Okay, this guy. That will create your business. And your goal is to help them do it.
Wow.
So your goal is that you work for them. They don't work for you. That's real entrepreneurship. Like that's where it's not a dead end job, where it's like, I'm here to help you make money. And in return, I'll make money for my service of helping you make money.
Wow. That's a great place. I've never heard it like that, honestly. But it makes sense. I think, especially at this event at PaintCon, you know, like the $5 million guy, right? In a few years, you're like, wow, you know, that's a big number. In a few years, that's crazy. You know, I want to break that. And I think, yeah, that's interesting. I feel like it's very easy to just like have that goal of the revenue and then just kind of hope for the guys to kind of step in and make it work, you know? But I think that's actually the way to that's the way to do it. Actually, okay, this is your goal. This is your goal. Okay, this is good.
Because you have 5 guys that want to make 100 grand, and you pay 10% commission. Let's say that's a $5 million company. But it's you approach the whole business differently because it's about these 5 guys. These are your guys. You guys take the dinner. These guys you take care of. If they hit that, you buy them a Rolex. So you're like, dude, you're a fucking tank. Let's go. What do you want next year? We want 300? Okay. I got to get more leads. Bear with me for a bit. I'm going to build a canvas team. You're going to help me build a canvas team to make you more. Then it's more bought in. It's like, let's get more guys. Let's do this. Wow.
I think it's beautiful that I'm seeing it firsthand with like Steven and seeing that, you know, he's bringing in all these guys. Like, you changed Steven's life, and then it was like, now he's just bringing everybody else. Like, he didn't change his life. You give him the opportunity.
Wait, I was gonna say that. I don't think yeah. Oh, interesting.
And had that thing in him. I remember even seeing him on the calls and door to door, and same with Juan. I'm just like, okay, these guys have it too, and they trust you, which is huge because that shows your respect that you've created as a leader in your story and everything, right? So it's just a ripple effect. And who knows? Maybe they'll go start their own business someday. Who knows, right? That's a beautiful thing too, because you just taught them how to, like, that's where as a business owner, it's like, you want to make your guys unrecruitable, where they won't go anywhere else because they love you. But also, if they want to go and do their own thing, then, you know,
and that's great.
That's great.
You're a part of their life. You know, like, you help others maybe open their eyes, or maybe just teach them the systems or whatever, and they go and change other lives.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing too, because, you know, I'm a big believer in karma, and just good karma. You know, you're gonna get just good things back as well. But don't expect anything, right? That's the key right there. But yeah, I'm super proud of the guys. Killers, absolute killers.
And now they got that book, Greatest Salesman in the World. They're gonna read those chapters. Chapter 3 on persistence, bro. But my daughter team, we read that before we go out, drill it, memorize it. You become what you read, especially because it's in the first person. It's like, I will persist until I succeed. I was not born in this world a sheep. I'm a lion. I refuse to walk and talk and sleep with the sheep. I will hear not those who weep but complain, for their diseases contagious. Let them join the sheep. The slaughterhouse of failure is not my destiny. Like, it's like, you read that 3 pages, you read it, you memorize it, it becomes good. Like, and each chapter is different. One on love, one on discipline, one on this, one on that, one on this. And then it's like, you become those things internally. And then when you're selling jobs, they're just like, you know, just like different.
Yeah. So what do you think about like the Andy Elliott thing? You know, I'm just kind of bringing him in here, but he says like completely just recreate yourself, right? And like, it sounds like you almost just have to be perfect in order to be like happy and successful. What do you think about that? Or like, what are your guys' thoughts
in terms of being perfect?
Well, I think it seems like you kind of have to be perfect. Obviously, that's impossible, but it seems like you maybe have, like, that's the goal, right? Or what's the mindset behind that? And do you think it's needed to be happy and successful?
I believe that, like, yeah, there comes a point where you enter the cocoon, right? That is recreation. Like, that is the time where you're in the cocoon, where you're not talking to anybody. Like, I had a time in my personal life and it was during COVID, where I didn't talk to anybody, nobody. I didn't care to, right? It was just like podcasts, books, gym, podcasts, books, gym, podcasts, books, gym. And that's the only thing I cared about. And I was taking notes, active learning every night. How do I be better? What is being better? Right? Like, that's a huge problem, is like especially with young men, it's like you always hear like, be a man, be a man. What is being a man? You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like total recreation, I believe, is necessary. But to be absolutely perfect, no, I don't believe that. I believe that,
well, it never ends.
Yeah, I believe that you're always chasing. Yeah, you're literally always chasing being better.
Always, yeah. And that's what you sign up for. That's what you sign up for.
It's kind of crazy. You can't stop, right?
Yeah, you can't. Well, you can, but if you stop, you'll probably die. Like, honestly, you probably will die. Like, you see so many guys retire and then they die.
Yeah.
Because that's where we're goal-striving mechanisms. We need that thing to go towards. All humans. There's a really good book, Psycho-Cybernetics, and it breaks down the psychology of a human being and how they actually are a goal-striving mechanism and how to use this part of your brain. It's like, that can go into deep psychology, but basically how to use parts of your brain to like activate your goals, and you will go towards them subconsciously. But you have to do certain things. It's a very good book.
I believe it nowadays have dopamine all twisted up. Like, dopamine is given to your brain, right? Like, your brain will release it for working, right? It's for like goal hitting. Like, for example, like if this was 10,000 years ago and we were out there hunting lions, you get dopamine when you hunt that lion or you hunt that elk.
Yeah,
you 100%. It's not scrolling. It's not.
Bro, that's why sales is so sick, because you get dopamine for making money. Like if Steve or Juan, when they close a deal, you guys get dopamine. Better than TikTok.
Fucking top of the world.
right? It's the best dope. And then it's a good reward. So you got to choose where do you want your dopamine and what reward do you want. So it's like, hey, I would rather my reward be money, maybe better fitness, maybe a PR in the gym. Those are my dopamines. I'm like, so I got to cut out the other ones so I don't go that way. And you can choose, it's a choice.
And you do literally have a minimal amount of dopamine in your brain. Like your brain doesn't have unlimited dopamine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you can like, that's arguably what depression is, right? Where you empty out all of your dopamine. Like you have some drugs, right? Where you have like a crazy down because when you're on that drug, your brain's dopamine gates are fucking wide open, right? So that's why you have that crazy down. But it's like very similar to social media, where it's like you're scrolling through social media, you're constantly getting that dopamine hit, and then you wonder why you don't want to go to the gym, right? It's because this is way easier, and you're getting the same reward.
You get the same reward.
Which is very scary.
And so I think it's crazy. You know, you guys are young. You're 25, right?
26.
Okay, and then 24? 23? You know, that's crazy. You know, you guys are young, and you guys have this mindset already. So how can a young person get into that mindset? And so you guys are talking about the cocoon, right?
Yeah.
So what is that? What is that?
So my process was before. So I knew I wanted to do something great. I knew I wanted to do something great. I didn't know what it was going to be.
Your whole life first?
No. When I started thinking about what I wanted to do, I feel like the things that society was saying I should do weren't enough. I was like, I was like thinking psychology like a therapist. Like that's actually a thing. I was like, that's kind of close with what is calling in my soul. Like maybe a therapist, like help people. But I was thinking, I'm going to hear fucking people complain all day and shit. And I'm going to what they're talking about. I don't want to do that. So and then I'm in university because I just signed up. So I was going to play football, Cornell, or first Cornell and then Waterloo with some schools. And just get with my shoulders, join the rowing team. Just kind of going with the flow of like momentum of going into school.
Is there a click that kind of like just because I wanted to ask you that too, because I just wanted to see if there was a click.
No,
like an event that happened that made you guys think.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at.
There's a series of events. So the first event was me questioning my life and my purpose and having like existential crisis. Like I look around in school, everyone's studying, and I'm thinking like, what am I doing here? What am I trying to do? And it bothered me a lot. Like I talk to my buddies they're getting ready for exam and they're stressed about the exam. I'm stressed about my fucking life. I'm like, dude, what? And he's like, man, just do the fucking study. And so finally I pulled the plug. I dropped out, and I also moved out at the same time because I was still living at home, going to school. So I didn't really make any risks. So I was kind of living comfortably. So I was about 18. Then I moved out in my uncle's house. He lived in Greece, so I was just paying his rent in this like little house. And so I'm living there, and I just started like reading self-development books, reading different things, just looking for answers outside. I was reading this book called The Alchemist. You guys ever read The Alchemist? Bro, fire book. So Alchemist, it's like a fictional book, but about a boy's journey finding his treasure, but it's like external treasure, but it's a metaphor, the whole thing for finding your purpose in life. Reading this book. In the book, he finds this old man that runs a crystal shop, and that becomes his mentor that teaches him things that the crystal shop guy never achieved his vision, but he stopped at the first thing and just stood there. So he got to help him kind of grow his business, and he goes on. I'm driving by this butcher shop, and for some reason, my mind was like, that butcher shop, that's where I got to go. That's a crystal shop. I don't know why I thought that. I felt it, bro. And I was like going on section 1 to jiu-jitsu. I was at work going to Submission Academy, this place in London. So come back after, and it was like 8:30ish. It's late. The lights are kind of off, but there's still lights inside. I go inside, and I'm looking around. I see this older guy sweeping the floors, and I just like was like, hey. He's like, hey, like, you guys have eggs? He's like, yeah, we got eggs. It's like a butcher shop kind of variety store. I was here for eggs. I was like, okay, are you guys hiring? He's like, do you know how to debone a chicken? And that, like, deboning a chicken is like, you got to like debone it, like butterfly. We'll put it out. I don't fucking know. And I was like, yeah, of course. He's like, okay, show me tomorrow that you can debone a chicken. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, do you have chickens? So I bought 4 chickens, went home with my buddies. I'm practicing cutting up chicken, go back, shit the bed, didn't do a good job. But he's like, I like your heart. And then he's like, you can grind in the back. So I'd grind up like scrap meat, or not scrap meat. I'd grind up like beef and shit for like businesses, like for ground beef and fucking whatever. And then I was just plugging self-development, listen to this guy, you teaching me to like take out the garbage when you're done, put the garbage bit thing back, all this shit I wasn't really learning. You know, we got as young guys, we're all fucking crazy. So I was like, he was like my mentor in that way. He scaled a few butcher companies, he exited, he had some business knowledge, but very like simple man. Like he would drill his own shelves, he would do his own thing. I was like his first employee. Anyway, so that was kind of my start into that. And I started thinking about ways I could scale the butcher shop. Started building like butcher packages, grinding up the scrap meat for dog food, going door to door. But in that phase of working at the butcher shop, I started getting into things like fasting. So I would fast from food for 3 days. I did a 7-day fast. I was just always trying to, Joe Rogan said, create your own struggle. If you're not really struggling in life, because that's where the biggest growth comes, you got to create your own struggle. So I was starting to create my own struggle. I was like, how could I create my struggle? Okay, maybe I could fast, not eat for a few days, suffer a bit, but build that development up. I would go on long runs. I'd listen to podcasts running. I would go on a train track and I would just run on the tracks, just so it was just endless to just go in the nature. I love that. I'd have some mushrooms. I would eat mushrooms and do that. And just think and dream and just like hope. And then, other things started changing. My brother's cutting my hair. He's like, yo, you heard a student works? I was like, no, it's not. He's like, you're doing door to door. These guys do painting door to door. And that's where I met my mentor, Chris, $30 million company. And then things changed there.
It sounds like a lot of coincidences. What it's like maybe you like manifested it. Do you believe in that?
Yeah. I remember when I first learned about like manifestation in a way. I was reading books about like write down what you want and then like write down like, you know, all the things you want from that and say it every day. But I didn't know what I wanted. So my first manifestation was I found my purpose. I feel fulfilled. Like I found that thing. I didn't know what I want. So that kind of, I guess, manifested into finding painting. I didn't think was my purpose, but it kept expanding from that, you know. And then my purpose came to help other guys make money, help. Honestly, not even that. Like help young men to go through that cocoon and like develop. And I found that through door to door and helping, contracting and everything. It's just that's just like a vehicle to do what I really love doing, which is like helping other guys.
Right. And so what do you think about like the 16-year-olds that are like just super motivated today, but maybe they haven't reached that cocoon timeline in their life? Like, what do you say to those guys? Like, you know, like a lot of people have a lot of pressure where they're like, you know,
We have a younger brother at 16.
I do, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. See, yeah, I would say if like you're saying if they haven't hit that cocoon stage,
yeah, it sounds like that's needed, right?
I think it's
The struggle, that's the struggle, right?
I think it's absolutely necessary. I think that you almost have to just decide to do it. Like you end up just having to do it, right? Like I really believe like either life forcing you to do it, or you will never go through it unless you do it by yourself.
Right.
Right? Like life will either force you to go to that cocoon. Like for me, it was COVID, right? I had no choice. And I took advantage of it. Or if life doesn't force you to do it and you don't do it by like consciousness, right? You don't consciously do it, then those are the people that will never go through it, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're young, hungry, 16, like right now, don't talk to anybody for 3-4 months. Listen to some podcasts, like keep some tight boys, right? But all that outer circle, because everyone knows that outer circle, right? Your acquaintances, people that you see, you call kind of buddies, whatever. Get rid of that circle, right? 2-3 guys, and make sure that you guys are all in the same shit.
Yeah.
And you just grind.
Yeah. And that's important. It's important about who you hang around. Obviously, 5-person you hang around, all that stuff people say, but like you have to actually put people in their place in your life. You know, and by putting someone in their place, I've always telling this to your brother. Like you got to put your friends in their place, and that doesn't mean going to be like, yo, I don't want to hang out with you anymore. Da da da. In your own mind, okay, this guy, I'm just gonna put him over here. I'm not gonna talk to him as much. I'm just gonna reach out maybe once in a while. I'll let him reach out to me, but I'm just gonna put him in this place, in this bucket. Put this guy here. This guy I want around my corner, and I'll tell him that. Yeah, I want you in my corner. Tyler has made a code of ethics for anyone in our circle. He made a long code of it. We sat for like 4 hours.
Yeah, it was
by each code, what they must do, what they must value, if they you know, pray, they do this, if they this, and some fucked up shit that we probably can't say online. But yeah, we built this code, and I sent it just my key guys. I'm like, yo, code, and they're like, dude, this is fire. I'm like, they can find us online. I'm like, no, we created this. He's like, damn, like, are you accepting the code? Yeah, okay, cool. And but when you're young, you don't really know your code. What helped me understand, like when because I always tell you to find yourself. I always tell you to find yourself. So I went backpacking, BC, just like went around, worked as a cherry picker in this like little fucking thing, like, and did a bunch of random shit backpacking alone, trying to find myself. Then I read this book, Hard Times Create Strong Men, and it says, men don't find themselves, they define themselves. And it's like, who do you look up to? The things that everyone looks up to different people for different reasons. You like something certain about someone. That's part of you in your soul. That's dormant inside you. The things that you like in other people, they are you. So you can bring that out. So when you define yourself, you're like, okay, I like this guy for the way he talks. I like this guy because he's humble. I like this guy's that. That's who you are. So you pull those, you recreate yourself, but you have to go through struggle. You can't just choose it. You have to also like do the things to create that. So if you want to be humble, then what's something that you have to practice now to be humble, to be like that guy? Okay, when people give me praise, I'm going to say thank you, but I'm not going to overindulge in that or whatever it might be, right? This guy's hard skinned. Okay, I'm going to go to the gym. You know, this guy's, he refrains from things. He doesn't let temptation hit him. I'm going to fast. Like whatever it might be. You got to understand, who do you want to be? Define yourself. And then what are the characteristics of those people? And then what are the things that I have to do now to become that? And that's more important than finding your career. It's more important than anything. For young guys, that's what they need to be focused on. Is like, who do I want to be? Because there's an analogy of, you know, like you might not know what tree you want to cut down. I've said this before. You might not know what tree you want to cut down, but that's okay. You don't got to choose the tree, but what can you do right now? You can sharpen your blade. Sharpen your blade. So when you find the tree, it's swipe, done, right? Instead of like, okay, I got a fucking dull, just start this one. I don't want to do that anymore. I'm going to this one. No, this one's too hard. This one, that's what a lot of guys are doing. They're jumping from tree to tree, but they're not focusing on like the sword, the blade, which is yourself, your character.
Wow. And you started doing that, you'd say like at 19 years old?
Yeah, about 19. Like football and sports helped that, but I wasn't thinking in that way. But it was when I started internally thinking like, hey, what do I actually want to do? Like I was just looking at everything in life and like all the ways that university or college could take me. Like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. I never thought about business. Honestly, I wasn't like, I want to be an entrepreneur when I was young. No chance. It's crazy. I played COD all the time, Halo. Like when I was growing up, yeah, I was just kind of fat. I ate a bunch of bagels and butter. Like I'm just fucking chilling. Like I didn't have that. But I played some sports, played football, and that kind of built something in me. My brothers, they didn't do like business. My dad was real estate, didn't really do business. He did real estate, but just still sales. But it wasn't like I didn't come from like trading entrepreneurship family that I felt like I had to do it. It was more like I wanted to be the best I could be at some point. I would love self-development, and then it just kind of bled into entrepreneurship with an opportunity.
Wow. I think also as a young guy, you got to realize your standards, right? Like that's something that I took straight out of the army. Was like the army I joined at 16, so not really having too many standards, I guess, at home before that was like really game changing. Because it was like in the army, they set the standards for you, right? Where it's like you have to meet this or you're out of the club, right? So, but then you have to take that and do that in your personal life as well, right? So that's, for example, why we made the codes. It's like, this is the standard, right? It's like, this is what I abide by. This is what I hold myself to. Therefore, the people that are going to be around me are now required to hold yourself to this standard. And if you don't, that's okay. But like you said, you're going to be pushed off over here.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
Right? Because if you don't have standards, then how do you expect to grow?
Correct.
It's not going to happen.
A lot of people have crabs in the bucket mentality. You know, like one of our standards is like when we see one of your brothers winning, fucking support them. And then it said, don't let any jealousy creep in. You got to instantly say, you know what? This guy's one of my boys. I'm going to be successful too because he's successful. So never trying to pull someone down. That's like one of our standards. No crabs in the bucket. So they have different ones. We have like 25 of them, but they're, you know, it's hard when you're with friends and some guys are making more money or some guys doing this, then you get a little bit jealous, and that's just not a good mentality, and you cannot have that in your inner circle.
And I was going to say, that's one thing too, where it's like, you truly are literally the 5 people you hang around. Like that is so true. So it's like, if you're around people doing sick shit and making money and doing all this cool stuff, it's like you will be there. You have to.
But you will. You have destiny.
It has to happen. So it's like
you gotta show up.
Yeah, you have to show up, persistence, dedication, right? Discipline, and show up and meet the standards.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't matter. Meet the standards.
And if you fall from the standard, that's also a rule, is that we see a brother slipping, we pull him up. We don't do it in front of anyone. We always talk to our guys in private. I never thought to call someone out unless they're around other guys in the brotherhood. But if it's just like, you know, if it's like other guys that aren't in there, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you're fucking up. I'll be like, yo, when we get back in the car, so I'm like, bro, I noticed you did these things, like, you know, I think you're better than that, and like, I want to hold you that standard because that's what we're here for. So like, okay, got it.
And these are friends in person.
Yeah. These are like our boys.
I think you do that to me subconsciously, like without, you know, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I love you, bro.
Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what man needs. We need that. But we cannot. What we don't need is someone telling you what you want to hear or not calling you out on things because they're scared you're gonna be upset. Like, no, that's gay. You know, it's not what we're here for.
And what are your parents?
I know. That's what I was just thinking about. I was like, that
you guys have done tremendous things, right? In the last few years. I'm questioning is like, what are your family's reaction to all that? Curious, especially you, because you're like quick change. Like I think you joined Trade Launch earlier this year. I don't know.
Yeah, well, last year.
Oh,
but
I mean that's like a year.
Yeah, a year in September. Yeah, I guess my.
Or do they know you're going to be an entrepreneur like from the get-go?
No, they definitely didn't know. Like I was kind of the same thing as Justin, I guess. Well, I guess all of us probably.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I didn't really. Yeah, I was playing COD, eating fucking Cheetos in my mom's basement. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? But Yeah, to be honest, not that I would say that I keep my family in the dark, but I'm from a family, at least my extended family, where we just don't talk about that stuff. You know, like it's just not something I talk about with them. I'll tell my mom what I'm doing at work, but she's not coming home and being like, "Hey, Ty, what's your revenue?" But it's like I don't talk about it. She knows that like obviously we're traveling a lot more, we're doing cooler shit.
So it's just
Oh, totally. But it's not something that like I'm like totally open with to them, right? Because I think like time and a place, like at least for me, like when I'm with my family, I want to like be with my family, and like when I'm with like boys and we're talking about money, we're talking about this, like that is my life. Sometimes 18 hours of the day, 19, 20 hours of the day. So it's like when I go back to my family, I'm okay with being with my family. You know what I mean? So like I almost keep it separate in a way.
Yeah, I'm pretty similar. Like I got older brothers, you know, I inspire them with like, you know, with things that, cause like there's a time where I was looking up to them and now they're kind of asking me for some help, but I'm not like, yo, I just made fucking this much. Like I don't want to outshine like I want to make sure I'm still there. I put myself in my right spot. I motivate them, but I don't try to put them down. And sometimes I don't know how people react to that kind of stuff. So I still that. No, I just kind of felt it I'm the youngest in the family. So I got like 2 older brothers that are a lot older, almost 10 years older than me, but they're a year apart. And then I have older sister that's almost 20 years older than me. So I just kind of, I motivate them. I share with some wins, but I'm not like, oh, this is how much I'm making. Like, it's not really important. And my mom never even valued that at all. She didn't give a fuck. It was not about that. It was like, are you being virtuous? I was like, before she passed, she's like, just do what you got to do. Just stay virtuous. Like the golden rule, like treat others, they want to be treated. Like that's what her message was. Nothing about success and nothing about goals. It was just about treat people with respect and like honor. Like that's it. That's so important. It's like your soul is the only thing that matters. Like add anything, your soul. So I'm juggling that right now too. It's like, it's easy to go chase. And then it's like, hey, am I praying? Like going to church? Like it's a whole thing you got to balance. So with my family, it's more like, that's my family time. That's where it's like, I wanted to spend time with my nephews and instill values into them, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So I have a quick question. So I'm going to kind of just talk about your personal life a little bit. Just, I don't know a lot, but I know you earlier mentioned the shrooms, right?
Yeah.
On the train track. So I had a crazy experience on shrooms once, and I feel like it kind of changed my life. And so I feel like that's kind of where I became spiritual, and I started like really like, I was like, okay, this road's a little crazy, you know? I felt like weird for like a while. I still feel weird from that day, honestly. But I feel like it was such a key point in my life because I feel like I was such an asshole just prior to that like I felt like that just showed me how much of an asshole I was, and how that's not me, and maybe it's just like from or whatever the fuck it was. And so now you guys are religious, right? You guys pray, you guys are Christian, right? So how important is that?
It's everything. Yeah, it's everything. It took my mom's death to like find that in me, and like, you know, which was a beautiful thing. It's like, but that's just how life works, you know? Because I was born Catholic, stuff like that, and I'm like practicing Christian. I'm not saying like I'm perfect at all. I'm close, but it's like now I have in like my core values. Like I got to make sure I'm being straight with God. But I did have a crazy shoot trip that like changed everything. To really.
And so, have you done an issue or anything like that?
I think you gotta try. Oh, okay.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, I have.
And do you think that's like a important part to like open your mind, maybe like change perspectives?
You know what I think? So like, I guess I'm kind of going through the same thing right now with my dad. Like very similar situation. He's in the hospital and this and that, but yeah, it kind of took that for me to find like God, I guess, in a deeper love and like really understand like how important this really is. But with that being said, I do think like shrooms are almost a substitute for religion because it gives you the spiritual effect, but you don't really realize that you have that power sober. You do have that power sober.
Yeah, right.
You absolutely do. And so I almost think, and I've done shrooms, right? And I haven't had, to be honest, I haven't had any like life-changing crazy shit going on. Like I was just having a good time, but I really do believe at this point in my life, I believe that is a substitute for true religion, like following the one and only God. And it's like,
I did substitute in a good way or bad way?
A bad way.
Yeah, like almost like a steroid. Like I wouldn't go and do it.
Exactly. That's
Like-
the perfect way to say it.
Yeah, it's like you can go to the gym and grind and go to church and grind and fast and do the things and then achieve maybe more spiritual enlightenment or whatever. Like, but that takes longer time. But I don't regret my past at all with like shrooms. Like I just did some LSD and I was like dabbling and like just learning. I had no idea. But going forward, it's not what I would endorse. I wouldn't tell people to do that. I would say if you really want to have a life-changing experience, go to a forest. I've done this. And sit down for a week and don't eat, or bring a fishing rod and only eat what you catch. But like that's when you're gonna fucking get connected.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I did that. I went with we have land. My grandma actually was a boss. She started an agency. Like this is like she's like 85 now. So this is like when she was like 30. Started an agency where she would send home nurses to like people's houses to take care of them. Then they would pay like a recurring fee. And this is like back then. So she made some money, and like she's not like we from a rich family, but she took all her money and she bought 600 acres of land in like the wilderness because she was really religious. I thought there's gonna be an apocalypse, so we need like a place to go. Like this is what she was thinking way back. So we have this land now where we have like lakes, and we don't have any cell service. It's like out in the boonies. So when I need a reality check or I need to kind of dive into myself, I'll drive up there. I won't bring anything with me, no food, but I'll bring a fishing rod, and then I'll stay up there for a week. And I actually got like almost attacked by a bear, chased me. It was fucking crazy, like alone. But there's fish. I didn't catch anything for the first 3 days, so it was 3 days fasting. I'm just sitting in the grass and it's like stinking and praying and just like being myself.
Just camping all alone.
Yeah, and that's what I would suggest someone do more than just like take some mushrooms.
Just shrooms.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you remember kind of where you were going. Do you remember that, Eric?
Yeah, I honestly just think like that was honestly like hit the not the nail on the head with the steroids. It's like that truly is. It's like, for example, in the gym, right? Steroids, some people say is the easy way out. I do believe that it's just an easy way to get to that dream body, just like shrooms is an easy way to get spiritual, right? And is it the right spirituality? Like, is it the right spirit? Like, I haven't heard shrooms enough to really actually know or even recall, like, to what degree or how the spirituality is. But I also believe that, like, yeah, there's different, more natural ways to do it. Like, you know what I mean? Go to church and, like, if you just try and get spiritual. I know it sounds stupid, but, like, just actually focus, like, even for just, like, 15, 20 minutes a day, focus on, like, being a spiritual person, pray, right? Try and talk to God. And it's like, if you've never done that, then don't go and do shrooms.
Yeah.
Like, that's actually try.
Yeah.
Right. It's the same thing with the gym. Don't do steroids because you went to the gym for 3 days and then realized it was hard.
Right.
If you're gonna do shrooms, someone's like watching us like, yeah, I'm still gonna do it though because I'm excited. It's okay. Then do this then. Don't be around anyone you don't even think you don't trust. Like if you have any type of person you cannot be fully vulnerable with, don't be around them. You're gonna take on their edges and be not a good time. So be around with someone that you're like, you're my boy, like I'll hug you, I'll kiss you on the cheek, like you're my fucking guy. Like that kind of person you want around. But anyone else, no. And then other thing is write down your intentions of like what you actually want to accomplish here. Okay, I want to find some more clarity, whatever. That's like what I would say, like setting is very important, else you can go off the rocker. Which happened to me. Like I went, and I'm glad it happened because it changed my whole life. But I did shrooms when I was like, I think I was like 17. I did them with these guys. I didn't really know. My mom was even telling me this one guy, like, don't be hanging around with him. I did them. And the one guy that my mom told us to hang around with, turns out this is on the night before Halloween, which is like known as Devil's Night. I didn't put all this together. This is some like dark shit. This guy comes up being this, like, we're in this like house. It's dark. I'm chilling at my boy's house. All the guys are there. Take a bunch of shrooms, like 5 grams, like just wear it once. And just rocked my shit. And yeah. And so this guy sits down across from me and he's like, we can do like a practice tonight and you can sell your soul. He's like, and you can achieve like anything you want. It was fucked. And it was real. And it was real. Because it's like on shroom, it's real. It's real what you're experiencing, but it's like a whole different realm. So I feel like I was like tapped into some dark shit. That's what I felt in the moment. And I was like tripping. I'm like, what are you saying? Oh, you're going crazy, whatever. And I go to leave the house. And long story short, the guy runs and blocks the door. He's like, you're not leaving. And yeah. And then I basically just put my arm on him and I was like, I don't know where I came up with this. I was like, stop leeching off me, you demon. I randomly just said that with full power, like, stop leeching off me, you demon, like fucking tripping out. I'm panicking. And this guy throws up right away and falls down.
What?
Yes. Yeah. So I ran home. I was like crying. I ran home and I stayed at McDonald's for like 3 nights straight because I wanted to be around lights. Like I was scared to go to bed. I don't know what was going on. I thought I was like getting attacked by demons. Shit. So changed everything. I stopped hanging out with them. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped doing all that. That's when I went backpacking because I needed to go find myself because I was tripping out. And then I'm glad it happened. But like, there's other ways to do it, so I wouldn't feel desperate. Yeah, no, that's definitely way we that's the truth. That's the truth. That's what happened. I thank God it happened, but it changed everything about my whole trajectory.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a crazy story.
That is a crazy story. I've never heard something like.
It's a lot deeper and stranger, but it's like a longer thing. But that's the gist of it, and it totally changed my shit up.
Dude, and my trip's gonna add to that. I like at a moment when I was like, I started throwing up.
Yeah,
I felt like the devil or demons were like around me saying, "Ha, you're gonna die."
Well, in the Bible, they say that is actually like a realm into the paranormal realm, and that's how you can get there. And that's why it's like not the best thing because you open yourself up to spirits, and you know that. If there's good spirits, then there's also bad spirits. And what are bad spirits want? So it's like you're opening up to some deep shit. So it's like I wouldn't play around with that. If I knew what I was getting into, I wouldn't play with it. But I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't recommend that either. Like I've recommended it to people. Decision.
I just go ahead. But it's like honestly, realistically, like no, go knock doors, go shoot.
Honestly, yeah, I tell people it was the worst experience of my life, but I needed that.
I needed it.
But like after that, I've never done it again. I'm too scared to do that. And like now I'm in this path of personal development. You know, it's been a few years now. And honestly, you guys are a big inspiration in terms of like just the just following God, right? So I did grow up religious, but I never actually went to a church. I never actually read the Bible. I actually just got my Bible a couple of days ago. And so I want to start reading the Bible because I know you do, right? And you preach how you read it daily. And so, yeah, I kind of wanted to ask you that. And I feel like that probably is a better way to do it, right? Like just maybe like intentionally read the Bible, try to connect, actually, right? Like intentionally try to connect with him.
Yeah.
And then maybe you could have like the same experience in terms of like just growing, but not have like the negative effect from it where you think you're like dying or something.
What made you go from a Catholic background to Christianity?
My situation with my mom, but before that, I started like going down the rabbit hole of like the Illuminati and like symbolism and music and like all these different things. And then I started going down the rabbit hole like, wait, Pope is infiltrated. Like he's preaching transgender shit. And like, okay, there's some crazy, then follow the money. And I'm like, okay, wait, what I believe and what I see now is that like, there's been a subversion inside religion, and the Pope is like not really like a good beacon of faith because he's overcome by greed, and he's opening up the gates to like backwards thinking and not progressive movements, like proper progression. So I don't want to be praying to that guy because that's what the Catholic kind of believe. And I don't want to speak out of my ass because I don't know fully the whole thing, but like I know that they see him as a leader in the church, like that's kind of the guy, the Pope. But then there's another sector of Christianity called Orthodox, and that's actually how I was originally raised because I'm from Sparta. Like my blood's from Sparta, Greece. Like so Greece is like you go through Orthodox Christianity, and Orthodox just means like traditional, original, whatever. So I went back to that. That's when my mom got rebaptized Orthodox. But I was just seeing the world. Like I was just like seeing all like the trans stuff and like I don't know all these this backward shit. Like I just thought it was all whack.
And it's all right now. And so if you got to the Illuminati, you knew that this was not happening.
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, they have to say everything. The Satanists have to say everything and show you what they're doing. So you it's almost like you're consenting by following suit. But then the Orthodox Christianity is just like traditional Christianity, very traditional. Like I go to church, it's all in Greek. I don't know what they're saying, but I'm just like feeling the vibes, bro. And it's a grown men with beards that are like actually like G's. Like they fast for 40 days. Like they do their shit. They pray every day. There's monks. There's monasteries. I went to Arizona when I was out there, and just like it's like hard work Christianity. Not just like if you say you believe in Jesus, you're saved forever. It's like that. No, if you go to gym once, are you fucking fit forever? No, you gotta work. So that's like kind of I vibe with that more masculine, more like actually proper. So that's where we started going to Tyler. We started going together. And
yeah, I was gonna say you definitely introduced me to the Orthodox. I always knew, to be honest, that I always knew that I was religious, but I didn't really know what I belonged to, if that makes sense. I always had a connection with God. I just didn't know what I belonged to. So with that being said, I knew without a doubt, like I'll just say straight up, I think the whole transgender thing is fucked, right? Like that's just my personal belief. And so as soon as you start, like the way that I think about it is like, okay, right? Jesus, the Son of God, came to earth and gave us this book, what we call the Bible. So as soon as a man, walking, breathing man, starts changing that, what gives him the right to do that? There is no right.
Yeah, so
You don't have the right.
so even in Orthodox, like they don't interpret the Bible.
No.
They say what it is.
Yeah, and
That's passages. They don't be like, oh, I think this means. It's like, no, it doesn't matter what the fuck you think this means. Like, we're gonna stick to the book here.
But that's what I mean, right? It's like following a recipe. Like you can't just change the fucking recipe because you're gonna get a different product. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's actually fact.
That's facts. So that's just kind of how I think about it. And so when we go to this Orthodox church, it's all in Greek. And when he does say like 5 words in fucking English, like you actually take it, and then the whole time that it's in Greek, you're actually dissecting. Like it's actually an insane experience.
Yeah, it is really.
Like you're literally dissecting. Okay, what does this actually mean, and how can I apply this?
Yeah.
And it's in Greek.
Well, there's just some. There's Greek Orthodox, there's Russian Orthodox, there's a bunch of different ones.
Like correct me if I'm wrong, but Orthodox is literally just original. Yeah, and then the word
Yeah.
the word after that is just what religion, or sorry, not religion, what language it's in.
Yeah.
Like Greek, Russian,
Yeah. Yeah.
Roman.
Yeah, Roman. They try to keep the languages as because like a lot of these books are written either Greek or like Hebrew or certain things. So they want to stick to that and say what the words were.
If you switch that to English, then maybe like if some words just don't get translated correctly.
Exactly. Exactly. But like it's honestly, we can't really be that deep at that. If you're praying and you're trying your best to be a good man, like it doesn't matter what you're deciding to do, you'll find your own way and thing. But this is what I'm experiencing now, what kind of I'm learning. But
Yeah.
I think it's just asking yourself questions. Like I'm Hispanic, so I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
And I started thinking, like, this happened like 2 years ago. I started thinking, like, we have all these people we look up to, you know, like, why are we looking up to these? And then I asked my mom or my parents, you know, why do we look up? They don't have answers for me. Oh, we grew up this way. We grew up this way. So for the last 2 years, I mean, we go to Catholic church or here and there, but it's like I start telling my other half, I'm just like, you know, we got to start looking at, you know, something else, because it's like, why do we look up to all these people? Because we look up to, you know, Mary and a bunch of other people, you know, the Catholic culture. But when I try to ask, you know, try to get some answers, no one gives me like a straight answer. It's always like, you know, yes, I can ask you, you give me one answer, I ask you, you can give me a different answer.
totally.
So
I think it's it's tough, right? Like, so I don't think, you know, religion is a very crazy subject. It's cool that we're talking about it, but I don't fucking know. Like
I think it's crazy. I think like I'm on the path to finding God, and I think I'm pretty close. So I was like an addict to weed until the beginning of the year, and I made a deal with God. As my daughter was more like a heart issue, and so I made a deal with God, like, hey, I'm gonna give this up, and then in return, you make sure that everything goes good. You know, it was just a 10-day thing, and I did it for 10 days, and then I didn't feel the need to continue to smoke.
what do you guys think about that topic about weed in general? Like people who smoke weed on a daily basis and say they can still perform.
If you're
perform the same.
Yeah, if you're smoking weed every day and I'm sober, I'm gonna fucking kill you every day.
Yeah, 100%.
I'll outperform you every day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Even on my worst day, I'll outperform you when you're high. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like that's just
I used to smoke a lot of weed, tons. I would have like my bong always in my cup holder, my truck. I would rip all the time. This is like in high school, and then grade 13, I took a gap year, and I knew from my own experience, but also other guys I was hanging around with, when you're high, you're just a little bit more inside yourself. You're just not fully like faced up. You're a little bit inside yourself, and if you're inside yourself while you're trying to build a business or get shit done or talk to homeowners, you're just not the same. It's just not the same, and there's more self-doubt. There's more room for like malleabling your brain and shit around and like overthinking things. It's like no, not at this age. We need to be running the play. Meet guys that know what to do what they say, go do it. There's not like I just don't suggest it, and I wouldn't hire someone that smokes a lot of weed.
I like sobriety too because it's powerful. It's like there's a lot of people that can't go sober for a year. I've never been sober for a year, to be 100% honest.
Like drinking alcohol or something.
No,
Yeah.
I've never been sober for full 365-day calorie year in my life, other than probably when I was like fucking 4. Oh,
When to you that might be like drinking a one beer.
but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm getting fucked up, but I'm saying like, yeah, I'll drink whatever twice, 3, 4 times a year. Right?
That's not what though.
No, but I'm saying like I've never done a full
Like pure sober, like not one thing.
yeah, not one sip of alcohol. I don't smoke weed at all. I don't do any drugs.
Except for pouches.
Yeah, except for the boxes. Yeah.
And quitting weed is hard, right? Like it's hard in the moment, or not?
It's hard if you say it's hard. I think that's the thing with life. It's like things are hard if you determine them as hard.
And so what do you say to like Steven? No, I'm just kidding. I think Steven's a great guy, right? He's an absolute killer. And I think like I was in the same exact position as him. As a salesman, I smoked weed every single day, right? And I was still making money and everything, right?
Yeah.
But like it had to come to that circumstance for me where it was like, you know, like a really big deal to me in order for me to actually quit it. But part of that, like I attempted so many times and I couldn't, right? Like I would always go back to it and I would get addicted again. So like,
But in order to fully quit, you had to see something greater, right? Like fully greater, like, okay, my daughter's health and this. And you made that determination. Maybe that's not a real thing, but like you made an ultimatum. That might be something that you have to do. You just got to really look at like, what do you want to do in this life? Like you asked it cannot come from a place of like, I just stopped for no reason or stop because I don't want to do it. But it's like, you got to figure out what do you want in this life? And there's going to be there's different versions of you that will go through. And yes, you can smoke weed and you can be successful. Sure. Are you going to be as successful or as strong of a man from saying no to this instant pleasure and like kind of relaxation thing that you can find other places? Probably not. So it's just depending on what you want. Like some guys don't want to do that. They want to be more like maybe like that's just depending on what you want. But if you don't want to do it, then it's easier to make the change. If you actually don't want to, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. Yes, you might fall back. There's certain habits I have. I'm like, I don't want to do this. And then I might fall back into it. Like, all right, this is my last time. I'm not doing this. Fall back in, right? That's just part of the game. That's part of breaking habits. But at some point you will stop if you actually try to stop.
Right. Well, I think a scary thought too is like, I think we can all agree now that we operate at a lower frequency when we're high, drunk, whatever, right?
yeah.
So it's like, if you're smoking weed every day, if you're drinking 4 times a week, whatever it is, like, what if you didn't do that? Like, if you look back at the end of your life and you said, hey, maybe if I use those 5 years of my life and didn't smoke weed, like, would I be something better? Like, what would be my potential? You know what I mean? Like, would I be in a better place? What would be different, right? And so it's like, when you go back on that, and people are so amazed at like hitting whatever 5 million in 2 years, that's not that amazing.
Yeah.
Because I guarantee you, every human, if they really wanted to do it, right? Like, for example, I'm going to use it as an example, right? And it took, for example, like your daughter's health, something so powerful to you, right? Something so meaningful to make that decision, right? And oftentimes that's what happens, is that people wait until something bad happens to make a decision like that, when the real power is in consciously telling yourself, I'm done. Because I'm done. It's not because XYZ is happening. It's because I say I'm done. And like, that is powerful. Like when you can control your own mind, that's power.
Yeah. Can you help anyone get closer to that? You said?
What do you mean? Sorry.
So if like, could you help someone if they know they have an issue and they don't want to,
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I wouldn't say that they don't want to do it, but I said like,
Well, it's an issue, but that's not, yeah, they don't see it as enough of an issue to stop.
yeah,
I would say first sure you can help them, but it's like, dude, we're all alone on this thing, on this fucking rock. Like, you got your boys to rely on, but at the end of the day, it's like, we're not pulling your weight. You can go down the other direction. We'll try to help, but some people aren't meant for this. It's just the truth. And what I would say is like, who do you actually listen to? Like, you know, when I was smoking weed, I kind of liked like the kind of, not gangster lifestyle, but like I would just like thought it was cool. Like I thought it was cool. And then I started, and I thought like, you know, having like a bunch of girls is cool. And I started, but now it's like my level of cool is changing. Like when I see someone that's just sober and clean as straight and makes fucking money and like changes and like just crushes and it like sticks to their word, and like I think that's fucking cool. And I think that's super cool. And it's like, but I think that's cool. So that's what I want to be. And it's just depending on what you think's cool. I think for a lot of guys, it's like, okay, well, it's just like start looking at different avenues. If I may find some mentors, like honestly, like I know Andrew Tate girls thing, but like I like how Andrew Tate doesn't smoke weed and doesn't drink, and I think he literally just stopped even smoking cigars. So like I saw a video recently, but like I thought he was cool. I was like, oh, he's cool. So I'll take some of my values, but I'll take the ones that I like for him, and I want to do that shit. So it's just, I think that's the biggest thing. And I don't know.
I think also people have to, like, you got to help yourself, right? Like, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped.
right.
That's a huge issue, because I can't make decisions for you.
True.
Right? Like, I'm not you. I don't make decisions for you. So, like, you have to at least want to change before someone can come into your life and help you change.
Yeah, there's nothing lesser of you if you're doing bad habit. Like, there's nothing wrong with you. Like, it's not like you're a bad person or like, oh, I'm not as good as these guys or whatever. It's just like, okay, just make the change. If that's actually what you're thinking in your mind, like, okay, just make the change. and you'll fall back and then make the change, and you'll fall back and then soon you'll make that change. But you have to like, it's like you're trying to stop a car and the brakes break. You're not just gonna stop once and then feel like, fuck. You're probably gonna hit it a couple times until it hopefully stops or something happens, right? But you're not just gonna hit it a couple times. You're gonna commit to stopping, and you might pedal the brake a few times and you'll stop. But that's the comforting place of wanting it.
Okay, I have a quick question. So you just said that that not everyone's made for this or to be great, right? So
No, I'd say I would say not it was made to be great, but some people have different levels of greatness they want to achieve. Like they might say, I want to do all these things, but like although some people don't really want it.
it's easy to say that.
Yeah, it's easy to say.
And everyone says I want to be rich, right? Like almost everyone says I want to be rich. Now I don't know if the Bible says this, but my mom always told me that the world needs poor people and rich people, right? Or else it's not a world. And so do you think that literally like some people are just like born to like be poor?
No,
No,
I don't have the answers. I personally don't think that people are born to be anything. I think
you don't think that your life is like given to you. You think you actually like 100% every single person can actually reach greatness, so that's like their true.
Well, you could reach greatness and then lose everything and go back to being poor because maybe that was the plan laid out because you were supposed to go through that way. But I don't think it's like this guy's meant to be. Well, maybe that's a cool question. Maybe, but I could see that like you still control the actions you take, and then maybe outside factors will bring you to a certain spot in life to be like, okay, that's where like I'm trying to think of I'm thinking of homeless people and shit. I'm thinking of all these different things in my head right now of like,
See, I think like almost it's very interesting because, and I can be 100% honest, right? I don't have the answers either, but part of me believes that you can control your destiny here on earth, and part of me believes that God already mapped it out.
yeah, it's like totally.
It's really hard to me to actually make a decision because if, at least the way that I look at it is that if God maps out your life for you, you can't help anybody. You can't, because that's your life,
Isn't it?
right? But part of me wants to disbelieve that because I've seen it with my own eyes that my life's been changed. I'm hoping I'm helping other people to change theirs. So it's like I want to believe that I'm capable of changing lives, right? But if I also have partly of this belief where God has already mapped out their life, then it's not me at all, right? And arguably, even if we can control ourselves here on earth and we can control our destiny, it's still not me, right? Because it's God given me the power to do so, right? Putting me in the vessel.
Yeah, it's interesting.
So yeah, that's an interesting question. But part of me honestly believes that God created my life and He already knows where I'm going. And part of me believes that everything's up to me. So I don't really know.
That's saying. PPD says, pray like it's up to God, but like work like it's up to you.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So,
I feel like we all know what we could be doing, like what our meaning, or we kind of know what we could be doing, and then it just depends on, like action and who takes action, and that's who ends up being, who makes the money, who becomes rich, and then the people who, don't decide that they wanted it. And I feel like that's what we see a lot of older people who are miserable and they're like, fuck, I would have done this, but
Yeah.
they already knew they could have done that a long time ago. I feel like a lot's already
I
done.
think it's interesting, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, so I had this at AV Painting. They hired our president. Her name's Ava, and she's the one who explained this to me. So like a tree has branches, right? And they all go up top, right? And so you start at the roots, right? And then you kind of start your life and you go up, and then each branch each branch is like a different path that you can physically take, right? And so you can take right, left, whatever you want. But at the end, like you're still gonna end at the top, right? And then that's the end. And so maybe like your ultimate purpose is still the same, but you can experience like a different life based on your decisions. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see like you get rewarded for certain behaviors, and then some branches you remember get struck by lightning, get fucked, fall on the ground, and eaten by raccoons. So those probably people that aren't making the best. It's not, not your branch is gonna go up. It's like, oh, I'm gonna choose to do this all day. I'm gonna go up to the top. Probably not.
I was gonna say realistically too though, that's kind of a good analogy because some parts of the tree are higher than others.
Yeah, some branches come out the root.
Yeah,
It really is.
there's a top of the tree, but there's also a part of the tree that's
It's like up at the middle.
the raccoon could reach up and just.
There's some trees get cut the fuck down.
Yes.
Well, no, that guy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never talk about depression ever, never. And
know what?
Depression. I don't like talking about it at all. But something like I gotta bring that up. What your thought process is on it. I don't know. When people bring it up to me, it's like I guess I want to hear what you guys say first.
Yeah, I think a depression is a state. It's like a mood that you can feel. I don't think it's like an identity. Like a lot of people say, I am depressed, or like I am this, or I have this problem. It's like you are kind of choosing that, and it is not, maybe not consciously, because we are programmed to think that this is like a state that you like are suffering into. But I just don't want to believe that. Because why?
I think it is conscious, in my opinion. I think that when you say, like, your words are powerful, right? What you say is powerful. So if you, like you said, right, identify, you're consciously saying that I am depressed. And right, just like we want to recite certain, just like the Greatest Salesman book.
Yeah.
Recite it because it's so powerful. So if you recite the wrong things, you're going to start to believe that, and you're going to start to be that.
If every person said that they're depressed, I'm like, okay, like first thing I say is, okay, you're not depressed, but you're feeling depressed. Okay, got it? Okay, cool. Okay, but let's look at the past 3 weeks of your life. How many times do you go to the gym? Have you been drinking enough water? No, I'm too fucking sad to go to the gym. It's like, no, you're sad because you're not going to the gym. So usually it's like, that is like, hey, go do these things for like the next week, and then let's have this conversation. Let's just see what changes. Because at the end of the day, we're just like, we hold energy, we hold emotions, like we hold states of different things, right? So we can hold a depressed state because we're literally being depressed. Like I think depressed means like dormant, or like, I don't know, it's a certain definition of depression. That's not the mind state of depression, but like just like the verb depressed. It's like depressed, like you're pressed down, okay, because you're probably not doing things to lift you up. So some people experience like some traumatic, is it dyslexia, right? Like losing a parent, kid, or whatever. So some people will lose like an important part, right, in their lives, and they'll just stay in like a bad mindset. Yeah, years I've seen, right? So, I'm actually incredibly impressed by you. Like why? I think it's just amazing because your mom just recently passed, and I think it's amazing your state of mind and how you're still so optimistic and so happy on those calls. Well, I'll make her proud. That's what I'm here to do. Well, that's what I think. If you lose someone, it's like, okay, am I gonna wallow in self-pity and miss them? I'm gonna miss her. I'm gonna miss the fuck out of her. I'm gonna make her proud, but I'll feel both at the same time. But I'm not gonna let that stop me from doing what I gotta do. She wants me to live a good life, and I'm gonna do that for her. And it usually makes me more power behind what I'm doing now. Not that she wants me to be successful, but she wants just me to be happy and like fulfilled.
And why do some people do you think like don't think like that? Like, why do some people get stuck in like, why did this happen to me? Why is life so not fair?
Well, maybe if she passed away when I didn't go through the cocoon, I would have had a whole different perspective on it. So I think it's like I think it happened in the right place, right time for me, and it was also not it wasn't like an instant thing, like a car crash. Like, God forbid, some people lose their parents, and like they can't say goodbye, and that's a tough thing to process. I can't speak on that. All I can speak on my thing where I got to take care of her for like 7 months. That was when I was doing trade launch. Actually, when you joined, I was doing one-on-one coaching calls. I actually was during your process too. I was already talking about it, but like, I had to still do my shit. But like, I was lucky to have a business delegated and stuff, so I could spend like 7 months with her, take care of her, give her her medicine, like spend time with a kiss on the forehead, tell her I love her, ask her questions about her life, get advice, take down notes, record her voice. Like, I got to do so many things I was so grateful that I wouldn't be able to done. So that helped me a lot. So from my perspective, I was just super blessed for that. And it was an honor, because at some point, all our parents are going to die. Everyone's going to die. So it's like, they're all going to die.
I think another thing too, though, is like, you have a good understanding of religion and what actually happens when you die, right? Like, what actually happens when you die. And it's not bad, right? It's something that so good that we can't even imagine it on earth. And it's like, literally, we went to Bible study, and that's literally what they were talking about. Like today, for example, today is literally my grandma's memorial. Like, I'm literally missing that to be here. Or my grandpa, sorry. Like, he passed away like 2 days ago. Yeah, 2 days ago or something. So it's like, but I'm here because I know that, like, dude, he was a hard motherfucker. He was an entrepreneur. Yeah. He was fucking in the hospital with fucking like 5 different broken bones, but he had his checklist. He needed to see everybody before he died. And dude, I can only imagine the mental strength that took. Yeah. And so it's just like, he's hard as fucking nails. And I know that, like, he's watching down on me right now being like, thank God this guy went to this thing. Right? Because he was that guy. He's like, and I'm the same way. It's like, if I were to fucking drop dead tomorrow, like, do your shit. You got shit to do, right? You're still on this earth. You're still in the game, right? Play the game. Right. So And I know he wouldn't want me to just mope around and cry about it, right?
And we're blessed to have that mindset. Like you're blessed. So it's like, if something already bad happened, okay, go on your journey. You'll probably find some golden nuggets to help you cope with the shit from prior. Or if you haven't had too many bad things happen, okay, don't wait till the struggle happens to earn your stripes. Like start creating struggle for yourself now. Gym, fasting, whatever it has to be, but go through that now so you're equipped. Most men are weak. This is why we can crush into the contracting space and all the things we're doing, because most guys out here, they're pussies, bro. They are. And that's just, and sorry, but that's just the way that it is, because that's how society's programming. So if we can take the other step and be the best we can be, we will make so much money. We'll create so much success and value in the world, because we're actually putting on our boots and we're going out into the world. And it's like, that's why I'm so excited about all this, because it's like, this is the right time to win. This is where the competition's sleeping, bro.
It's looking easier.
Oh yeah. For everyone.
Yeah, I'm mind blown, honestly. Like how you get it. It's like I meet some people like, what the fuck? Like that guy's successful. You know, like I don't know. It's just kind of crazy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's also probably one of the easiest times right now too, because men are just keep getting weaker.
Yeah, weaker,
right? So it's just like when you have the competition is smoking weed every day and drinking and this and that, and like, yeah, like at least for our age group, for sure, with the minority, like in your 20s, like that's like your fucking party era. That was fucking made up. That was a huge psyop.
Yeah, huge psyop.
And I'm fucking 90% of the motherfuckers of that
one thing. I'm gonna sacrifice my 20s. It's not even sacrifice. I'm just gonna get my shit to my 20s. When I'm 30, bro, I'll have yachts. I'll do whatever I want. Whatever I want. Party. So I'll probably still, but I probably won't even party. I'll probably still keep going, because that's actually the fulfillment. Like, but what I had to do is kind of delay that for myself to just cope with, like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna not go out and have some FOMO and this, because there is FOMO and like for sure. But if I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna push this off and then I'll do that stuff later. That was just kind of what I need to tell myself. But then once I started, I was like, oh, I don't even want to go there. I just want to crush. And I do that with myself a lot, actually. Like, let's say if I had to go to the gym, so like it's cold right now going to the gym in the morning. And I missed a few workouts in the mornings, and I was like, hey, I kind of can't do this anymore. So I was like, hey, you know what? When you get up, go to the gym. On my way to the gym, I'm like groggy-eyed, thinking, okay, you know what I'm gonna do? When I first get to the gym, I'm just gonna hop in the sauna first. So I kind of make this like comfort thing. Then I got to the gym, I'm like, no, you know what? I'll do the sauna after, or I'll do the shower after. Then I go do the workout, and I go to the shower, and I'll promise myself a nice warm shower after to get myself in the gym. Then I go to the shower, like I'm gonna go cold shower. But it's just like making that, almost delaying the thing that you might need to get through the little process. But then choosing in the moment of like, nah, you know, I made through the workout. I don't want a warm shower. Fuck it, I can handle a cold shower. I'll do a sauna after, and then whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's what's been helping me, and I think that's a metaphor for a lot of things in life. It's like, just delay the gratification. Even if you have to lie to yourself a bit of like, I'll treat myself here. Then you go to treat yourself, like, I don't need that treat.
Yeah. I think it's funny too, though, because like, going back here quick with the whole like, you're supposed to like party in your 20s, right? Is like, hey, they did get a fuckload of people with the psyop. Like, congrats, I was sick. But like, what that means is like, you actually like, if you do decide to choose the path Least walked on, like, you actually do get it. Like, this game is addicting. It's an addicting game, right? And typically what happens, right? We all played fucking COD. When you get addicted to a game, what happens? You get fucking better, and you get better, and then you get better. And it's just like, they don't want you to do that, because you're going to get so fucking good that you're going to be free. And if you're free, then you don't eat the food, and like, you don't take the medication, they don't make money. You make money.
Right? It's like so fucking incredible.
So that's just facts though, right? So
I 100% agree.
And so, yeah, fucking right. I want to stay the minority for my whole life. Or I want to walk that path every day of the week. And that's what I'm going to do. And so, that's it.
Dude, you guys are fucking young, straight snipers, killers. Like, it's insane. It's actually insane how young how young you guys are. I'm 27, so I'm just a little bit older than you. But I went through a party phase for like 3 years. Dude, 3 fucking years of my life just wasted partying almost every weekend. I would travel to Vegas, spend hell money, like just stupid shit, right? Just getting drunk. I'm just like, fuck, man. I wasted 3 years of my fucking life. But it's okay, you know. It's a good time. You know, I'm here now. I'm here with
I'm
you.
just glad we met you guys. That's
And that's the thing. It's like, you're here and you learn, and you won't probably do it again. And that's part of the journey, which is the interesting thing with the choices, and if it's mapped out, whatever. But you probably had to go through that.
So I think I did have to go through that. I think I come from like such a poor mindset, you know, that I had to like just pretty much just self-sabotage myself to a point where it's like, okay, Kevin, like just lecture this.
And the thing is like, the people listening to this, they might use that as a reason, like, okay, well, you know, maybe I got to go through it too, and then I'll learn my thing. It's like, no, you just got equipped with knowledge, and that's dangerous. When you start reading a book and you learn something new, now you have to do that, or else you're living against, you know, it's like, what were we saying? We're saying something similar to that. It's like, even in religion, like if you like we were talking, we are kind of like a metaphorical talk. We're like, hey, imagine if someone never knew about like Christianity, never knew about God.
Oh yeah,
It's like, when they go to heaven, it's like, yeah, I asked this, like, I have a spiritual father, was talking to him about it, and he's like, you're judged off basically what you know, what you decide to do with the knowledge you have accessible. So if you know that you shouldn't be doing these things, then you still do it. That's different than if you didn't really know and you kind of fell into it and then you figured it out after. So now that whoever's listening to this podcast and they're like, fuck, I got some shit to change, do not delay that because of, you know, Kevin went through his 3 years, so I got to go through mine. Say, no, you know what now? You just took Kevin's 3 years and put decades into days, you know, and now it's time to change.
I mean, I think you guys are a great example. You're 24 and 3. I mean, you know, I'm 27. So if I want to have a party that starting at 23, you know, then that probably, you know, like
and like,
this is my story right now.
Yeah, I know, 100%. And I was super lucky, super fortunate because like when I was in the army, like that was my party stage. Like I'm hanging out with all these guys that were like 20 to 40, right? And I'm fucking 17 doing my DP1. So I'm hanging out with all these guys, and that kind of was my part. And don't get me wrong, like we partied hard as fuck, right? Like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But at the same time, through the week, we got our asses fucking handed to us daily, right? We got taught all the values I needed to get. So I was like, I guess I wouldn't even call it like a party stage, because just like I don't know who says it, but it's like for example, like World War II, right? When all the American guys went over there, they started doing like meth or heroin.
Yeah.
But then when they came back, their environment changed. They stopped. So that was kind of the same thing that I had over there, where it was like I was around this environment of like just hard-headed motherfuckers, right? Who just like drank on weekends and we got shit done during the week. And that's just been my life through this whole thing. But in terms of the drinking, when I was stopped hanging around those guys and I came back, right, it got dilated. So it was like that whole party stuff was kind of kept out in Nova Scotia with that. So I was forced to with that, right? My environment changed when I got into it. And so when I came back, it didn't carry back.
Yeah. I think that's key. And there's another quick point here. So you used to vape, right?
Yeah.
And then you quit.
Yeah.
And so that's just hard, right? I quit weed. That's the last thing I had to quit. So obviously a lot of people are also addicted to vapes.
Yeah.
How'd you do that?
Well, so honestly, like I was kind of off and on all the time, and I'm gonna be quite honest. Like that's how I did it right there.
Oh, okay. Was this?
Yeah. Like it's just like it's the same shit. It's just coming from a better place.
I mean, at least you're not smoking.
Yeah. But in terms of vaping, what I came to realize is like when I decided to quit, it was I was addicted to the motion of vaping, not the nicotine itself. I was addicted to the action of doing it. Like when I was driving, for example, and I just stopped vaping, I was tripping. I was like, holy fuck, I gotta grab something.
Yeah.
Right? And so you're tripping because you're addicted to the motion of doing it, the action of doing it, not necessarily the drug itself. And so just like anything, right? Like it's a small thing. Like you'll tie your shoes the exact same way every day and you won't even realize it. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing when you drive. You're going to hit your vape X amount of times and you won't even realize it, right? You could be in like a deep conversation and you don't even fucking realize you're doing it because it becomes a subconscious habit to take your arm, grab the vape, put it to your mouth, right? So that is more of a habit than the drug itself.
And what I would say too, like I never had gotten to vapes, but I helped people get off it. This could help, but like you don't even need that either. It's just like if you understand that one, China is making the shit for super cheap, making money, and then it's fucking your lungs. Like you probably would die sooner if you do vape than if you don't. So you're just like every time you hit it, you're just cutting off probably a couple of days of your life. So that's your choice. The second thing is imagine when you're a baby, what did you get to like calm down with like soother? Right? You pacifier, right? So that's your pacifier as a man. So it's like, do you want a pacifier? Right? That's how I tell my guys. It's like, you want to have a like I see it, like guys will pull up like, you putting the soother back in, bro? You putting the pacifier back in? You stressed out? And it's like, damn. Then it's like, oh fuck. Now you have this thing in your head. You're like, I'm putting my soother. Oh, it's half gay. You know, then it's like, okay, that's what helps. That's what helped some of my guys, where it's just like, you're killing yourself and you're kind of being a pussy. And so
another thing too, like to be honest, like I know, like I know that this is not good, like something greatest, right? But at the same time, like what pushed me to like quit vaping as well was just like my general health. Like it's like I love the body mechanics, the mind, and it's like, okay, if I want to become the healthiest person I could possibly be, that I don't need to be doing this. And it's also like, I knew where I was going, right? I knew where I was going. I knew that at some point in my life, I was going to be in front of a bunch of people, and I know that I'm going to be touching lives. So do I want to set that example, right? Like, what do I want to set the example for?
Right.
So it's like, yeah, sure, you can do your best to hide it. Like, maybe there is guys out there who are huge on social media that vape, right? But do you want to have that burden of like, I'm like purposely hiding this?
A little double in.
Yeah, it's like, you don't want to do that. It's like, you want to set the example and live the example, right? That's the best way to do it. And when you start getting into this like double life thing, like, I'm sure it's probably fucked, right? Because you have to like think about it. Like, imagine like consciously thinking all the time of like, what can I don't know, like, what can I do in this room?
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to get found out.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm in this room. Who's in the room? I got to like make sure that like, I don't know, like my fucking girlfriend or my wife or this guy's not in this room, or my family or whatever. And it's just like, dude, you'd be fucking paranoid. Like, you'd be so focused on that you couldn't do anything else. Like, you'd be tripping, right? So fuck that.
Okay, here, and then there's a final thought, bro. I thought that after 2020, I thought that the world was starting to end.
Oh.
And church that like it. So let's celebrate. That shirt,
So that shirt was created the day he got shot, and then that logo will never be existing again because they got sued.
right? Let's fucking go.
But
If I
I was going to say there, we're about to have a fucking great 4 years.
Oh, this is the time now. Now is time to be in business.
We just started.
Yeah, because Trump's a business seller. He's just trying to make money here. So it's like, okay, money's going to come in here, and then people are going to spend more money, and then we're going to get it.
okay, just real quick. So I think that inflation's crazy, right? Do you think that there's a chance that we go into a crash? Like is there a crash? Yeah,
Probably.
I think it would be good, right?
You know what's funny though?
For us, for business owners, I know how to market and sell because everyone else is going to get scared. But I don't know. I'm from Canada too, by the way. So it's like,
I was just gonna ask.
Yeah, you're literally the son like.
communism, like, it's fucked. That's why I want to come over here. Oh yeah, it's bad. Like, if you make $100 grand, you get taxed 50%. 50.
And that's the max, or does it keep going?
I
think that's the max.
Is it the max?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on top of that though, like, that's 50% income tax, and then you pay sales tax, and then you pay tax on your house. They pay property tax, and you pay corp tax, and then you pay gas tax. So like, you're actually getting taxed probably like 80%.
So I just keep everything in the corp because my corp tax get only 11%. So I just keep in my corp, pay myself a dividend, and also salary. Like, there's always ways to get around it, but it's
Could better learn that.
yeah, you don't need to. You're not in fucking Canada.
No, it's not that bad here.
No.
No, yeah.
I know, but I think it's important that you get knowledge, because like right now, like I was gonna talk to you guys about that, but like getting a good accountant and a good bookkeeper, because
Pay yourself from payroll. Yeah, for sure. Like, you usually get paid bi-weekly, like your payers do. Even if you're only W-2, pay yourself payroll. Anytime you spend money out of your business on your personal, that is a dividend, meaning that you get taxed differently. It's on a business expense. Try to write off as much as you can. Get a good accountant that doesn't like the government, but doesn't like taxes. And they're like, hey, how can we kind of wiggle this? You went out to dinner with your girl, but like, you actually went out with the client, you know. Okay, get a good accountant like that. But pay yourself pay yourself payroll for sure, and try to live it below your means. Like, obviously it's fun to buy the nice shit right now, but it's like, you can buy the nice, you know, I will treat myself. Like, I got a watch here, like, paid decent money for it. I know we got basically matching watches because it's fucking hard. But other than that, it's like, okay, I set a goal, I hit a goal. I was like, I'm going to get this thing. I mapped it out. Okay, got it. But I'm not going to go invest, you know, all this money in external things. Like, I just paid Andy Elliott $100 grand. Like, I'm gonna invest in Andy. Like, I'll just put that money back in.
You could buy like a Lamborghini right now, like, and probably I don't know. You could probably buy cash, but like,
yeah,
you know, like a safe way to do it is like, maybe you just put some money down, like a large amount of down, and then just lease it maybe or something like that. Why don't you do that?
Dude, I'm just gonna put because that's what the competition would do if they had money. Like, I just don't want to be like them. It's like, hey, what would like the most up normal thing do? It's like put $1 million into yourself, like in self-development courses and in networking, getting into rooms with guys that are total G's. Like, I've met this one guy, he's doing like 500K revenue in his business, or sorry, 500 million revenue, has an EBITDA of like 37 times. Basically, he's worth over $1 billion, and he's not selling his business. And he does like he does waterproofing on houses. So I networked with him because I paid $20K to this event, and now I'm going to go see his shops and what he's using for his systems and learn from him. And that's worth millions of dollars because I paid 20 grand on myself to go do that. If I had a Lambo and I didn't go to that fucking event, I don't need that. I don't need stuff back at home keeping me there. I don't need a property. I don't need this. I don't want that. property. No, I don't want any of that right now because I want to be free. I want to just go. Okay, I'm going here. I'm going here. I don't have to worry about that. Sell the house or not even sell the house. Like, don't even have the house sell. I'm dipping. Me and my girl, let's go over here. Let's go here. Let's go to move to fucking Puerto Rico. I don't fucking know. I want to be free and just have everything inside. All my money seemed here. That's what I want right now.
Wow. Are you ever gonna buy the Lamborghini?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna buy after Aston Martin sent me a cease and desist letter because of the logo.
Fuck was that? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, because I took their logo, so I probably took fair enough. So what I'm gonna do though is I'm gonna get an Aston. I got it mapped out what I want. I'm gonna put that logo. I'm gonna take off theirs. I'm gonna put it in mine. I'm gonna keep that in the office of the because we bought this warehouse. I see the warehouse. You got. But that's the kind of shit I want to do.
What did I buy an Aston?
Are you gonna buy an Aston Martin first?
Maybe like a year or two. We got this is the office.
Oh shit. Oh, that's not like really up.
No. Yeah. So that's probably what's gonna happen.
Like, so you're gonna buy like a Vanquish? What are you gonna buy?
Vantage.
Is that what it's called? A Vantage?
Yeah.
A Vanquish is not a car, or is it a car?
I don't know.
And then the Lamborghini is like 5 years, 10 years, 20.
No, I don't want a Lamborghini. I'd rather just Aston. I think Aston Martins are fucking
Gangster. Definitely.
I just want one of each. I gotta get one of each.
Yeah. But like Aston would be my first for sure.
But I also think like it goes back to like loving the game, you know? Like you just love the game so much that like you're not even worried. Like
yeah, like
realistically, like you don't even like at least for me.
Not really. Like on my vision board, I'll have certain things because it does like I like when I see it, it kind of motivates me. I'm like, oh, that looks cool. But like right now, it's like if there's no chance I want to invest in that stuff.
At least for me, it's like you're just fucking dialed right now. Like you just don't even want to like.
I like my truck.
Yeah, like do you really have time to go out and go car shopping? Not really.
Then you gotta then you gotta like go to the mechanic, and then you gotta change the tires, and then you gotta do this, and then you gotta do this, and then sure, I could pay someone to do that. And then it's like, bro, it's like all for ego mostly. Sure, it's a little bit of satisfaction. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather just keep happy. Okay, so here, I'm sorry. I know we're about to end this. No, here. Just the last question. So you said you're trying to just save like as much of your money as possible. So I'm terrible with money.
Not save.
Not save?
No. Oh, I personally, I don't think I
still work.
and reinvest.
Oh, so I'm personally just terrible with money, and I think that's why just business is a good thing for me because I can just reinvest it, right? Like I don't like to save money. I'm really bad at that. I see a stack, and then I'm like, okay, I can go buy a Rolex or whatever, right?
Oh, I see.
But now I'm like, okay, I got the business. I'll just invest into the guys. You know, I brought the here, for example.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff that I would be doing for sure. And I bought a Rolex or whatever. It's like nice. Like it's nice to have a few pieces. Like I think watches are they open up conversations. Usually guys that are really wealthy, they're probably in the watch game. So if you can find like a nice watch, maybe not the most expensive, but has some character behind it. Like this is like one of the only bronze watches you'll see, and it's like Breitling. Kind of know like Andy Elliott knows Breitling, Jeremy Minor wears Breitling, but it's more like it's not like too. So then that might open up a conversation, and it has multiple times. I got a Rolex. It's like a 1967. It's like a vintage Rolex. So people are like, oh, is that this? It's like, oh yeah, this is the year. This is how the dial was. I learned about it. So it's a conversation piece, but it's not just like trying to get the most expensive watch to hold. It's like flex. Because then it's like, how much you do your business? Oh, I do $1 million. It's like, what the fuck do you buy the watch? Yeah, you know. So it's like, that's how I kind of see it.
That makes sense.
Okay, you cast my order.
Hey, final thoughts.
Fucking yeah, work hard, play hard.
Yeah, you boys are crushing.
And stop.
You're gonna fucking do millions, tens of millions if you keep up with what you're doing. Yeah, but like just don't get complacent. Like that was the biggest problem that I faced when I started making some money. I kind of got a little complacent for like a couple months. I was like resting on my laurels, celebrating with the boys, and then that's when drinking started coming into business. Where it's like, oh, let's have a celebration, get hammered, and it's like that had some major impacts on my business. So I had to revamp, fire a bunch of people, restart. So I just don't make that mistake. Like just like build the dream for a long period of time. Like boys, we're in this together. We're gonna go to war. Let's do it. When we're at 10 million, like I tell all my guys, I'm like, you guys are all gonna be millionaires if you stay with me. We're gonna be millionaires. I 100% we're gonna be millionaires.
Mm-hmm.
So and that's why I tell my guys, like, let's stay, let's do it, and we'll figure a way. We gotta give you some equity here and this, and fuck it, let the boys eat.
I think also like you have to remain as hungry as you were on your first day of business always.
Yeah.
And if you do that, you'll be all right.
Just keep lower.
Yeah, and if you're not hungry, then go fast. Seriously, so you get hungry again. Like actually, like metaphorically and actually, like if you actually feel like you're complacent in this, like go do like a 3-day fast, like right now, or not right now, but or sure right now. Like seriously, that's whenever I got complacent, what's the opposite of not being hungry is not eating. So I'm gonna not eat, and that's gonna transfer to other areas of my life. because you can control your characteristics. That's like that book. You're going to control your persistence, your all the thing by reading that book and then practicing things. That's it.
It's great.
I think all right.
Thank you.